I want to ask you then, Ryan, and then Bridget, if you could think as well. Ryan, I want to know the most you've done to get the attention of a woman. And Bridget, I want to know what the most a man has done to get to grab your attention in trying to shoot their shot.
Oh. There's a couple things.
I guess I'll start.
Please.
So this is back when I was I had my little sugar daddies back in my day. And I think the most that someone has done, it was an African that I was talking to in Nigeria. And my homegirl actually posted me as her WCW, and he saw me and wanted my attention. And at that point, I was like, a Nigerian, like, He was like, just so you know I'm real, send me your information. Before we had a conversation, he sent me $1,000. Oh. Just to talk to me. He said, here you go, just so, in case you thought I was on some flaking bullshit.
Fucking up the
Before
game.
he even talked to me, he sent me $1,000. And he was like, this is so you know what's up. And I was like, oh, dear.
I hate that.
And I ended up, actually, that relationship, I ended up only seeing him twice in my life and ended up getting $30,000.
What?
He furnished my whole apartment and helped me through my first year of college.
Wow.
That's why I was able to be on the volleyball team in college.
Ryan.
I was able to actually focus on my classes instead of working.
Think of yourself, King. Think of yourself, King.
30?
These
In a
dudes
year.
are out here paying. They out here putting house
He saw me
payments.
twice.
How many times he hit?
What's crazy too is he only also liked missionary. So it was the easiest, and he was cool.
30K
He was like 6'3". He was a handsome man too.
Damn.
30K. And what's crazy is too, and this is why I've always built these relationships. Of the 30K, I maybe only got 9 in person. He would just send me and wire me money if I needed it. Like I would just complain and he'd be like, there's no reason why you are going without. What do you need? Here you go.
That's the nigga they locked up.
No, he's not locked up. No. It wasn't that. No.
That's probably what said, why are you red?
This wasn't a scammer. He was just he was a
very wealthy Nigerian.
He went to Guangzhou for all his business. Like he was working out of China. He had really dope businesses.
Wow.
That was the most that.
Do you know he had dope business? Or this is this
No,
thing
he
that
did because
told
he
you?
actually came at me like when we met. He was like sending me bundles of hair, sending me things from China. He said, you need to have a business. And he was willing to help me start a business. Wow. I was 24 years old. I was getting through school.
So you know.
My idea.
You didn't know what you had.
I didn't know what the fuck I had, like a dummy. Like a dummy. I also probably should have worked. So in that year that I got the 30,000, I just didn't work. And I'm like, I could have leveraged that in a different way, but I got it at a very young age. I didn't know what the fuck.
Things happen.
It happened. Yeah. So now back to y'all, goddammit. I done told my story. Shit.
I'm gonna tell you one thing. I'm gonna let her go first, but I never get nobody 30K.
No, I never got 30K from anybody.
It was twice.
Well, you the question that you asked though was what was the most somebody did to try to get my attention?
That's 30K. That's attention.
That's attention. You have my attention. You would have my attention.
You have my full attention
for a second and for 30K. Damn, I mean, I remember one guy went on the Breakfast Club and talked about me on the Breakfast Club without naming me.
Wait, yo,
my story's gonna be
so trash.
Which was kind of awkward because he was like talking about having a crush on me and I never even met him. I mean, I'm trying to think of what else. Oh, there was a guy that I had been curving for a really long time and I was just like, bro, it was an athlete that I just had no interest in really dating. And I was like, I really just have no time right now. Like I'm leaving. He came to New York and I was like, I'm leaving. I'm going back home to LA. Like I really got nothing for you. He's like, all right, cool. Well, I'm gonna just get on your flight then. And that could be our date. So he booked a ticket. Mind you, he had gotten injured, so he had like a boot on his foot, and he was like, "It's cool. Our date will be on this flight." So he booked the seat next to mine on Delta One just to fly to LA to talk to me the whole flight, and then flew back.
Yo, that was the most. Wild.
That was the most a guy ever, and I still
didn't. I can't believe it.
And I still didn't go on a date with him after that.
Damn, that hurt just then. No,
he had the bread though. It wasn't like
it wasn't the bread. You just wasn't
interested. About the bread. It really was not about the bread. It was really just like, I'm cool, bro.
I'll
like,
be real with you. That's fire.
That was fire.
I was impressed.
When you leaving, I'm leaving tonight, so I can't really see what time. Bet I'm on the same flight. We just gonna have this conversation.
Yo,
he literally said
that is some G shit.
I ain't gonna
he's an athlete. So
Bridget, that should have been your husband. Whoever he is. No.
If you heard, no.
Nah,
no. He said no.
If you read his tweets and you saw how it
was backstory to
how
it,
he misused how he misused a lot of pronouns and words. You know how I am about grammar.
I know you be checking me.
But for what he did, that's fine.
It was romantic. No, it was really romantic, but it was like not this person, because we were on the flight and I realized within like an hour, like we have 4.5, maybe 5 more to go, and you are not going to be able to keep up with me in this conversation.
Ryan, what's the most you've done?
I'm really thinking these shits is, I can't. I didn't hop on no flight, and I damn sure wasn't sending that bread.
But you you fly girls out, right?
Yeah, you just wanted to step into that. Wow. What a podcaster you are.
Mandy don't know how to just dip her toe. It's a whole cannonball every time. It's a cannonball every time.
I'll say when I was younger, there was nothing I could really do as far as like money wise. So for a guy, when guys do that for women, it's like they got that bread. It's not y'all. See how y'all didn't say anything that didn't have anything to do with money?
No,
like y'all could have told a story, which was like, yo, you know what?
No, he told
me to come here. There was a carriage. We went to the park. He had a picnic. It was all that. But y'all didn't say that. So for me,
because the problem is too, before we get into that, a lot of men do that thinking that the money that they spend is gonna trump the thoughtfulness behind it. And to me, it was like, I've been curving you for months, and you really about to spend $2,400 on this flight to sit next to me, knowing that I've been curving. I'm not leading you on. I've never given you any reason to keep going. And as far as I'm concerned now, this is just your ego. You just trying to soothe your ego, right? Like you just trying to
something you've done before.
Yeah, like you trying to take the L with pride. You trying to take the L with pride. Like you trying to go out like a champion, so that if anybody ever asked you why you never got it, you're going to be like, well, I tried everything and I did da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
But to be fair, Ryan, what you're saying too is, unfortunately, if we even go just the idea of patriarchy, there's a huge emphasis on money as it pertains to men.
Always.
And so even when a man can't be thoughtful, their idea of, well, let me show this woman I can do what I need to do as a man,
right.
Money becomes the first thing that comes to mind to them.
And also, I feel bad for some men with money, because I think men with money have been able to be lazy about being thoughtful because they have money. And I feel bad for those men, because there's a lot of regular, schmegular girls out here that will take that.
We could segue to the next topic, but I still want to hear Ryan's shit.
I flow right into that Gulf Stream of, I'm not regular, but I could do regular shit and you love it. You're not expecting, because I don't give off the I'm a trick. I don't. Some might say I'm frugal. Cool. But I'm not gonna, my first line in a girl's DM is not, what's your shoe size? And I know niggas like that. Like, first thing is money on the table.
You don't ask for the full name and birthday?
Have I recently? Yeah, of course. But the more money I got, I never thought I would fly a girl out ever. When I grew up, when I was young, I was like, hell, that's just not for me. I'm not gonna spend my money on that. If you fuck with me, you fly yourself out. I'll take care of everything else when you get here. You don't have to worry about a thing.
Okay.
Like, but that's just always been me. Like, you're gonna stay with me, get a hotel, whatever it is.
So if a girl flies themselves out, I know like the conversation is if as a man I fly you out, the pussy, you already know what you're coming for. If as a woman, I fly myself to you, even though you're paying for everything when I get there, does that still mean we gonna have sex?
There's only been one time in my life that I flew somebody out and I didn't get pussy. And it was because I was just being dumb and jumping the gun like, oh, I think you got a fat ass, let me fly you out. Boom, and it didn't happen. But it was just on some, it was on some, she just had ulterior motives. And I was just like, I got it, cool, boom. But even when I wasn't flying joints out, I'm having this conversation. This is the only time I didn't have the conversation before.
Okay.
I have this conversation before with if I fly you out, if you're flying in, we already had that chemistry where we can't wait to get into the same state. So somebody got to come to somebody.
Right.
But growing up, I never thought I would fly joints out. But I also flew for free my whole life. My mom for the airline, my aunt for the airline. So I didn't understand plane tickets. And in my mind, plane tickets was just
spoiled. This subtle flex.
But plane tickets was
right. I was like, damn.
I didn't know about plane tickets.
I
free forever.
But it's not even saying that. It's just what my family did. Like their job. But it's like I didn't ever look at plane ticket prices. So in my mind, I'm like, these shit's probably crazy. I don't know how these niggas is finding. But as I started to get some bread,
they be like $200. This shit is cheap, my nigga.
As I started thinking about bread, I'm like, wait a minute. I bought some kicks, they $200. I go eat, it's $300.
$300.
I can fly you here for $210 round trip, and I can decide when you come and when you leave.
Yeah.
Cool, I'm with it. I'm all for it.
I ain't gonna hold you, Bridget.
Day.
Now that I got money, I'm so mad at the pussy I gave out for flights.
You see what I'm saying?
Like, but I was broke when a bit like. But back then, also, I grew up single parent household.
Me too.
We drove to Atlanta for a family trip. Outside of that, I
didn't do that. But
I didn't experience.
North Carolina,
I didn't experience. We drove to Key West, Miami, and Atlanta. Key West, bitch. I'm from Florida. So my family, I didn't grow up in a space where, as a single parent of 3, my mom couldn't afford 4 flights anywhere.
That's a lot.
My mom still doesn't have her passport, so when I wanted to finally fly her out, I said, God damn it, we got to do Puerto Rico, bitch. But that's literally how I grew up. So when I got to the point where I'm meeting these men that could put me on flights,
you're like, oh yeah.
I was like, Portland, Memphis, I'm there.
Ticket $78.
I was literally flying wherever like a dummy.
But
because I was like, oh, but now I know why the fuck y'all flying me to them boring ass
Were you
cities.
at least in first class?
No.
I ain't gonna hold you.
No.
Sometimes I wasn't.
Oh my God.
First of all, you gotta understand, like,
yeah, like that's
flying it for me right now. I'm not flying you out first class.
No, niggas ain't flying you out first class.
Yeah, but you gotta.
Hold on.
No. But you also, Bridget, you also gotta understand, like.
But you were signed to Rock Nation.
Thank you.
Course.
Like, what?
Bitch, of course.
That nigga thinks the first thing he thinks is, if I don't fly her first class, I'm going to lose it. So him getting on that flight.
Ryan, here's the difference. She's like, you weren't flying first class. I'm telling this nigga I gotta call out of Applebee's to come see him. That nigga is not putting me on first class.
You're not only not getting a first class seat, you calling an Applebee's, you're getting a connecting flight. It's going to connect.
After a while, I started saying,
yeah, cool. But when you started, you was connecting.
When I started,
you was probably going from New York to Newark.
But if I'm keeping it a
you was probably flying from JFK to Newark to LaGuardia, then to LA.
Sis was on the shuttle plane.